gonna start a kind of a realistic long-range test, which we're gonna go to one of the places I frequent, which is the skate park. And what's cool about this car is you can talk to it, so Google Assistant is present, which means I can just say, "Hey Google, navigate to Rolling Rock Skate und Sportcenter."
Navigating to Rolling Rock Skate and Sports Center.
It gives you detailed info on how long it's going to take you, what the distance is. In this case it's 58 kilometers, and it's 74% state of charge at arrival for this car. So yeah, currently it's the battery level is at 95%. So that will mean I guess it told me the range is 370 kilometers, but we can ask, "Hey Google, what's my range?"
You can drive for about 370 kilometers with the remaining charge.
Yeah, so it's 370 kilometers. So yeah, we're gonna start the trip. Pretty excited to see if this is correct. I've tested it before. And it seemed to be pretty accurate, so yeah, let's go. I'm not gonna go easy on it, so yeah, see you there. I don't know if you can see it, but we made it. First leg of my commuting test done. We arrived at Rolling Rock. I guess the estimation was 74%, and we arrived with 76%. Which means that we gained 2%. So why do I like this test? Why do I think this test makes sense to drive here? Not only is it a road that I know, but it is also quite, there's quite a lot of elevation and downhill parts to it. Anyway, where was I? Why do I like this trip so much? I think it makes sense as a test because there's a lot of elevation and downhill parts to it. So as you saw already, the car gained 2% on its estimate, and I really didn't go easy on it. I drove the speed limit. I think I even went faster than the speed limit because I was overtaking everyone. So I think that makes sense. So yeah, we arrived here. We're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna take on the second. Like I hope I can film the rest of the trip a little bit more. So yeah, let's get going. Well, so we got back. We arrived at my home place. Yeah, we arrived with 58% left in the battery. We left the skate park with 74%. No, 76. Sorry, it was predicted with 74. So yeah, another. Let me calculate. I'm bad at math. I had a calculator in my head. So 18% loss of charge for this trip of 58 kilometers one way. This means we did 116, which is really correct what it shows in here. It's 115.9. It was totally doable, of course, if the car says it has a range of almost 400 kilometers when it's 370, I think it said. When it's 95% full. So yeah, outside temperature was 12 degrees or 10 degrees, anywhere from 10 to 13 degrees, let's say. Let's talk about the car. Exterior first, maybe. It doesn't look that different from actually it doesn't look any different at all from the side, especially than a regular XC40. But what gives it away is the front grille that's closed off, and the obvious Recharge branding on the side and of the contrast roof and the inside the door steps. So yeah, and I guess the noise that's missing, but the outside exterior and the wheels maybe. Yeah, I almost forgot those. Yeah, the wheels, they're different styling, more aerodynamic. Interior, it's actually really nice. I think very utilitarian, I'd say. It's typical of any Volvo. It is premium. It doesn't definitely feel cheap, but it's not like extra. I mean, there's no rear panel gaps, there's no anything, and it looks really it's really nice to the touch also. What I didn't like about the interior is the missing clip. Like I guess I can get a shot to show you here, but the old Volvos, they had like this clip for your parking ticket. This one just doesn't have it, but it has a freaking trash can, which I don't know. I guess I would use, but not 100% sure. I don't think so, to be honest. And there's one thing with the panoramic roof. And then there's this button. I don't know who designed this, but it doesn't make sense at all. It's like you hold it, it's like fake touch, and then this thing closes, whatever. And then you do this. I don't know if you hold it here, it closes. It's really fiddly, I think. I don't like it, or I don't know how to use it, but it's really weird, and nobody talked about it. In general, I don't like panoramic sunroofs in cars, not because they don't look nice or anything, but usually they end up leaking, so I wouldn't go for it basically myself. But yeah, it's odd. I don't know, you can open this thing even. Oh yeah, there you go, you can open it. Oh, even entirely. Okay. So yeah, this button is weird. Like it doesn't work with me for some reason. Yeah, this button. There's enough headroom. I mean, I'm not the tallest. I'm not the tallest dude, but 1 meter 75 centimeters tall. That's it. I'm 5'9", I guess. The seats are also typical of Volvo, very comfortable. There's enough boot space to I guess fit our medium-sized dog or any medium-sized dog, and enough stuff. So yeah, that was interior. Driving, let's get to the driving. This car actually has, even though it doesn't look like that, it has 400 horses and 600 newton meters of torque, and that's a lot, but it weighs 2.5 tons. And the weight, I mean, you don't feel it. Especially, like, I mean, I really say it, you don't feel it, you can't feel it. Accelerating is no issue. I mean, that's an electric car, that's the advantage of it. Braking is no issue, but the only thing is in the corners. So the corners, they're definitely feel it in the corners, but as all the other reviewers already said, that's kind of the thing that you notice while driving. Other than that, it's very easy to maneuver. Has a nice 360-degree camera, which makes it really easy to back the car up for charging, because the charging port is where we normally put the fuel in a regular XC40, so it's on the left hand side. So it means you usually have to. I mean, I haven't seen any charging station or a cable that's this long. I guess you can buy one, but none of these supplied ones are that long. So you have to back up, and it really works. And I mean, you can basically drive this car with one hand, and it's really maneuverable for the city and stuff. Also, the mirrors are really big. I think they're really easy to look into. You get a lot behind you. Backward visibility isn't that great, but you have amazing blind spot detection, and it's really nicely integrated. It's a nice red line. It's really nicely done. Yeah, different car. Sorry. Anyway, charging. Where was it? Charging the car. And the range after. I mean, this was a commuting test. It wasn't. It was like kind of mid-range distance. I think actually more realistic than most tests you can do, because I don't think like on the day-to-day basis that you would like drive further than that. I could be wrong, sure. Maybe in other countries, but in Switzerland probably not. Anyway, charging. I couldn't charge the car. This is why I'm here. Again, after the software update, the dealer I got the car from missed to do it. So the first time I went charging, and I tried a fast charger with labeled under 65 kilowatt output. I could only get like 75 to maybe max 80 out of it. I don't know if that's due to the charger being shitty, and I think the car was at 50 something percent. So it would have been comparable if I could have done it. But again, I had to return the car. That's why I'm in here. So yeah, charging works fast. It was fast enough. I charged from, I think it was there for maybe half an hour or 40 minutes. I don't know, half an hour. Let's say 35 minutes. And I charged from 50 something to 85. And I left the charging station and I went back home. So the fast charging works. and it's a nice feature to have. I even charged it when I was I charged it when I was I took it to another trip, shorter trip, to when I saw my physical therapist, and I plugged it in there. It was a 22 kilowatt charger that only did output 11 kilowatts though. So and I was there for an hour and I got 20% back, so it was from 60 to 85. And yeah, charging is great. I don't think you're gonna, I mean, I don't know, I can't tell you right now because of the software update if that made any difference, but yeah. Let's go to the verdict. I guess that's maybe my verdict for this car would be for the XC40 Recharge is it's good. It's a nicely made car. It's typical of Volvo. There's some things I'd like to address because I think but that's not just so much to do with the car and how it performed. I think it did fantastic. The little time I had with it, worth buying if you have the cash to do it. I'd say it's a nice city car. And yeah, the criticism I have is not so much with the car, but what Volvo was doing exactly. Is like, I don't get why they output this beast of a car like with these numbers, right? 600 Newton meters of torque and 400 brake horsepower, but they removed the performance color. And I mean, I drive this car I'm sitting in right now is bursting blue. It's Volvo's, like, I think it's the best color available, to be honest, and it screams performance. And to remove that, I think a lot of people, including myself, are kind of disappointed because they go the safe route and they kind of, I guess, don't want to label Volvo as the performance brand anymore, which is sad. I mean, Polestar kind of exists on its own and it's very monochromatic and I guess boring, but or at least color palette wise it's really boring. But I mean, like, it's a shame. I think this car deserved this performance color the most out of all of them. The suspension, I guess, if you really kind of like, again, going back to this being such a beast of a car in terms of the engines and the electric engines and what they can output. But like, they have the Polestar 2, it's basically the same thing, right? Basically same platform, same battery, whatever. Why not offer the option? Like, why remove that option entirely? To not be able to add Öhlins dampers, right? I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it why they don't offer that. I think it would make the ride a lot better. Of course, I mean, more sporty for sure. And yeah, that's kind of, that was a shitty verdict, but I guess that's it. I mean, it works. I would have to test it again for a longer range, and I'd like to own one, to be honest, like as a daily car. Doing errands, shopping, whatever, maybe not to show off as much, but because they removed a nice color. But yeah, as a daily, I think it's especially in Switzerland, if you're asking this question, if you can live with it in Switzerland, I think you definitely do. I mean, the charging was no issue. I found the fast charger, the infotainment. That's probably the strong point of the XC40 Recharge is the Google Assistant and the infotainment. I mean, it's to me, it was so crazy, like talking to a car in the first place. And I know this kind of already existed for a while, and we had this in phones and whatnot, but this is like, you can just change functions, and I guess it happened maybe once or twice where it didn't understand me. And a lot of the car systems that have voice recognition, most of the time they don't work. And not being able to not lift off your or like direct your vision at a screen and just be like, hey Google, change the temperature to whatever, as I think it's gonna make a big difference in terms of safety. Also, maybe I can put this here, the pilot assist works, but it's fucking freaky. It's so weird to drive, and you feel this input on your steering and stuff. And I mean, this is the first time I tried like a self-driving feature. It felt really weird, to be honest. I did use it on the highways. It's great. It worked also approaching other cars. It stopped. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage to find a proper setup to film that. But it worked. It was really nice, and I think it's a great car, all in all. But I have to see how much the charging stacks up in a long-range trip. I hope I can get the car again, because I really want to do it. Because because it's fun. It's actually fun to drive, despite being so bulky. Again, something I mentioned earlier. Really disappointed that they removed the color for this car. I think it would have sold well in this color, especially with the Volvo enthusiasts like me. But so yeah, enough of my rambling. I know if this seemed rushed, it was. I didn't have the time. I mean, I'm probably gonna see it in the edit. I got called twice. They wanted to call the car back. They really needed it, and so yeah, I hope to be doing more of these future with different cars, not just this one, not just the Volvos, but yeah. So thank you for watching, listening to me ramble about the car and driving it, and watching me finger the controls for the panoramic roof. Probably must have been really nice. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.